at the 15. He's on his feet. 10, 5, touchdown.
The Jake Nulph Show.
Go Burrow.
Welcome to another episode of the Jake Nulph Show. We're live at Charlie's Pub and Eatery, Route 99, just past the lake.
Lots of sort of scabs to pick at, Coach. I'll let you kind of take the lead and where you want to go, but obviously a frustrating and really a gut punch late Saturday afternoon.
No, yeah. Again, it was a wasted opportunity. For those of you that didn't watch the game, we 4th and 3 from the 3-yard line. We didn't punch it in to go up 7-0. I thought we left the first and the second down play to get us to 4th down. We drop a slant, which Tegan Brown usually catches, and then Ike made a lot of spectacular plays on Saturday, but we try to throw a fade on 2nd down to Bison, and he just threw the ball out of bounds. Where Coach White articulated to our offense this afternoon, we were 4 for 4 on that play during the week when we practiced it, and we didn't execute it on Saturday. Joe, they loaded up 9 in the box to try to prevent you from running the football, so we took some shots on the outside. We didn't capitalize, and then they made the play on 4th and 3, so we didn't get 7 there. Defense 3 and out. We get the short field again, drive the ball all the way down to the 2, and on 3rd and 1 we convert, but we fumble it right back. So instead of being up 14-0, we get 0 points to start the game, and you can't do that. And I thought defensively, particularly stopping the run and that triple option attack, I think we started the game with 4 consecutive 3 and outs, and we had them on their heels a little bit. We just couldn't convert those first 2 drives into points. But as you mentioned, Gage Galuska gets the first of his 2 punt blocks and converts it. Not only does he block it, he recovers the ball in the end zone. We go up, and then we blocked another punt, which was the second of the game. We were able to capitalize on the short field where, Ike threw a slant route to Jarrett France when we go up 12-0 there. And we just couldn't get that next play. As you mentioned, from a special teams standpoint, we faked another punt on 4th and 7. Got the ball down to the 30. The drive stalled. And this is where, Joe, and momentum in a football game is just critical. The next 3 possessions of the game, so their final possession before the half, they converted a 3rd and 8 with an underthrown football, which, again, it's football. We hit the quarterback. It floats like a duck. It's underthrown. Logan Dexter didn't know where the ball was, and we get the pass interference call. Then we got him 3rd and 5. We got called for defensive holding, give them another set of downs, and they were able to capitalize. So 12-6, we go into half, still leading, and it was eerily similar to what happened at Kutztown. Again, 3rd and 2 coming out, we didn't convert. Bad snap on the punt. We get a penalty on the punt, gives Bloomsburg a short field, and they were able to capitalize. And literally in 3 possessions, we went from being up 12-0 to down 13-12. And that's where the game completely, the momentum shifted. But 13-12, we're volleying back and forth. We had a 4th and 2, a bomb that Ike threw to Isaiah Greer. Tremendous throw.
Great catch.
Tremendous catch by Isaiah Greer, who was seeing his first action this year for the year. And, we go up 20-13. And at that point, you mentioned the gut punch that we took on Saturday. And it's funny, you must have been in my team meeting this afternoon and talked about that. We just couldn't get the next play to get up 2 scores. And that getting up 2 scores would have, probably sealed the game away. But we kept it within 1, and credit to their offense. I mean, what was it, 221 they had in the 4th quarter throwing the football, and we just couldn't make that next play on offense. They had all the momentum. They big played us. But we took the lead again with 1:12 left. We go up 27-26, and they went right down and scored, and that was it. 32-27 was your final score there. We played well in a lot of different areas, but when it come time to make the critical plays, we just come up short. And credit to Coach Sheptalk and his staff and his players that, they beat us.
Now, I got it. I'd be remiss if I didn't ask. And obviously, you watch film. You watch each play from 3 different cameras. So for the folks that don't understand, when they watch film, they will watch a play in succession from 3 different angles. I guess now that you've had time to digest it, and maybe this is maybe not a question you want to answer, but I
will do my best for you, Joe.
The stats are the stats. I believe we had 8 penalties in the first 3 games.
That is correct.
And then we had 11 for 139 on Saturday.
That is also correct.
What changed from the first 3 games to that performance? I mean, that's a significant difference.
Yeah, they were. The thing that we always look at, Joe, and this will let some insight into the people at home, is 0 pre-snap penalties and 0 post-snap penalties. That's always our goal. Right, we don't want to do anything that's from a personal foul standpoint after the whistle, and we don't want to do anything, whether it be offsides, illegal procedure, false start. That's beating ourselves. Physical penalties are part of football. They just are what they are. And we've got a lot of physical penalties on Saturday. I'm not an official. That is not my job. My job is to get our players ready to play 60 minutes of football in a physical manner. And, we play physical football. Some of the penalties that we got called for were physical football.
Obviously, the other question that is going to need to be addressed, you could be playing a high school team or the Steelers next Saturday. This is 2 straight weeks where you just cannot run the football, and you want to be balanced. We talked about it.
Yeah.
I
would say this: the ability to run the football in a timely manner. How about that? Right? That's a fair statement.
The Robert Morris second half, right?
Yes.
When you could just line up and go. What is? Obviously, we're not going to let that cat out of the bag as to what the solution is, but
No, I think it's pretty simple, Joe. I mean, the thing is, built into most offenses in college football now. If there's a loaded box, you got to take your matchups on the perimeter. If that's a light box, you got to try to jam it, right? We always talk about, and I have a 6-year-old son and a 5-year-old daughter at home. We're kind of past this point, but it's simple. We don't want to take the circle and jam it into the square. So with the RPO capability, there are some things that we can take advantage of without giving too much detail away, to where I feel like in some critical moments, we've made some decisions that don't dictate us to have success into a loaded box, or take advantage of a light perimeter when we have it, or throwing into a heavy perimeter where we can hand it off in a light box, if that makes sense to you.
Obviously, the other, really, I guess it was a question mark just from the turnover in the room. Outside of Teagan, there was way more questions in the wide receiver room because we didn't know the body of work. We mentioned Evan Lowe. I believe that was his first career touchdown catch.
What a play
Vance's
he made.
First
what a throw Ike made, too.
Career touchdown. And Isaiah Greer's first career touchdown all came in the passing game. Obviously, it's not all doom and gloom, but that room is really starting to get a little more consistent, too.
Well, the thing is, you got to compete, and every week you got to put it on the field in practice, and guys are stepping up, and now they're making plays in the game. The biggest thing that I can take away from that is like the play that Evan Lowe made. Are you kidding me? With
the old
the
okey doke at the 5-yard line. That was something.
That was a huge catch and a huge play, and it started with the protection up front. Ike had the ability to scan the field and saw the single coverage on the outside. And he threw a great ball, and Evan fought through the physical corner and was able to make the touchdown catch. And, there was the play before that. You mentioned Teagan Brown. Man, did he go up over? I mean, he made a tremendous catch.
And Nico, basically in succession.
We were backed up, hit the double move, goes up. And
then didn't Greer have a pretty – it was a 3rd down and 4 or 5 conversion, I believe, that he worked up the field yards after the catch. The ball was nowhere near the line to gain, and he ran about 14, 15 yards towards the sideline to be able to advance. I mean, that was a great sequence for the wide receiving room as a collective right there.
No, I agree. Again, there were some plays that we made. It wasn't all doom and gloom. We had a very spirited practice tonight.
I would imagine you did.
We went full pads and got after it, and that was great to see. Now we've got an opportunity this week as we turn the page that we got to go on the road and play a top 10 team in the country at their place.
Now I got to ask, because you are the riverboat gambler. You've not used all your chips, have you? Because, I mean, let's be honest, you missed an onside kick too. I mean, you special teams wise, what you were able to accomplish. I mean, that's fake punt. I mean, you didn't recover the onside kick. You probably should have. 2 block punts, special teams touchdown. I mean, what box haven't we checked on the bingo card in the special teams department there? There's
still a lot more out there, buddy.
I'd be disappointed if there wasn't. As I say all the time, I wish my wife loved me the way Jake Nulph loves special teams. We work that into the broadcast just about each and every week. Speaking of special teams, the special teams player of the week, Gage Galuska, is going to join us when we come back. We're live at Charlie's Pub and Eatery, Route 99, just past the lake. This is the Jake Nulph Show. Back with more right after this.
At the 15, he's on his feet. 10, 5, touchdown!
The Jake Nulph Show.
Go Burrow.
Welcome back to Charlie's Pub and Eatery. It's the Jake Nulph Show. We are Route 99, just past the lake here in Edinburgh. Make sure you stop by and tell Bill and the gang hello the next time you are in the borough. Gage Galuska, the PSAC West Special Teams Player of the Week. And Gage, let's hang on a second. We'll get to the performance. You have a path to get to where you're at. I mean, you've made a position change. You've dealt with a pretty serious injury. The last 13 and a half months of your football career has been certainly one of ebb and flow. Kind of walk us through the position change, obviously the recovery. You got hurt against Duquesne. What it had to be, even though on the wrong side of the scoreboard, but as an individual, all the work that you put in to get back, the Saturday's performance as an individual certainly had to be gratifying.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely felt great. Broke my leg first game last year. Was out the whole season, spring ball too. So I really was just getting back on the field fall camp this year. And then broke my arm sophomore year, so I spent that whole year in a cast playing with it. So it just felt great to finally get back to playing football again, and I'm doing what I can do.
Now, obviously, you blocked 2 punts, you recovered. Coach said you could have gotten 4.
It should have been 4.
When you're I don't know. This is kind of, we don't, obviously with Coach Nulph, we talk a lot about special teams, but most people don't really pay attention to special teams, really talk about them when they don't work. But is it, you're an athlete. Did you play basketball in school, high school?
I wrestled.
Okay, you wrestled. But,
yeah.
Is being the hot hand on, coming up to block a punt, is that like being red hot, making threes? What's the mindset that, you've got to feel pretty good about yourself when you get one and you see what's in front of you?
Well, yeah, it's definitely a great feeling. But after the first one, they were backed up on the goal line, and I definitely should have got there because I came flying off the edge untouched. So then when we went for the second one, me and Clay Cunningham were like, Coach, we got to run it again. Like, it's there. And, they didn't make any adjustments, so it was there. And then I could have had another one after that, but it was close. And then got the fourth one. And then they made some adjustments at halftime. But
what was going on in that helmet of yours when that ball was getting kicked around the back of the end zone like a hot potato? It must have happened in slow motion.
Yeah, pretty much. I just saw everyone jumping on the ball, and everyone just kept slapping it farther and farther. Then I just saw it laying in the end zone. Same thing happened freshman year. We blocked a punt against Millersville, and then everyone smacked it around, and then I was the one to jump on it in the end zone. So it felt pretty good.
Now, again, because I think it's funny because, Coach and I talk about special teams a lot, and there's a lot of different, things that go into it. And, the one fake punt with Carlisle, and I told him before the preseason, I was like, this is not going to work. This is just going to cause them to burn the timeout because the backup quarterback's in the back. It worked, though. It's not yet caused the opponent to burn a timeout. The level of pride, though, because of obviously Coach Nulph's fingertips on it, what is the special teams sort of, and we talk about the wide receiver room or the O-line room, but what is the collective sort of attitude of the special teams unit?
We spend a lot of time on it, especially in meetings and on the field, and we always say how we can't take a play off. So special teams is very important, and clearly that can be a game changer. So you just got to burn hot on every play.
Now, obviously, you talk about the injuries and whatnot. You had, let's be honest, a broken arm is one thing, but your leg break last year was more than just a run-of-the-mill injury.
Yeah.
What's that like for you when you're sitting there or rolling around on your scooter? And you were laid up for quite some time, right?
Oh, yeah.
What's that like when you have, you're kind of struggling? I don't want to say struggling, but you're trying to find your way as a college football player. What's your role going to be? And then all of a sudden, just like that, you feel like it could be taken away from you forever.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely hard to, get back out on the field and stuff. But, I know what I'm capable of, and I knew I didn't want that to stop me. So it was just a lot of rehabbing and putting in some extra work and stuff.
Gage, I appreciate the time. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Obviously, you put in the work. You've earned it. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, more to come. It's the Jake Nulph Show. We're live at Charlie's Pub and Eatery, Route 99, just past the lake here in the borough.
At the 15, he's on his feet. 10, 5, touchdown.
The Jake Nulph Show.
Go Burrow.
Welcome back to the Jake Nulph Show. We're live at Charlie's Pub and Eatery, Route 99, just past the lake. Another big one, another top 10 opponent on the road. Airtime on the Fighting Scots Radio Network will be 5 o'clock. Fighting Scots Radio Network presented by ErieInjury.com. The Jake Nulph Show, Coach, on the road, number 10 at 6 Saturday night.
Yeah, that's correct. We got to go into another top 10 on the road, as you mentioned, at night. And, look, they've got weapons. They've reloaded. This was an Elite 8 team last year that ultimately lost to Kutztown in the regional final. It starts at the quarterback position with Long. I believe he's on the Harlan Hill watch list. He had a tremendous year last year. He's off to a great start again. Their running back room's probably the most dangerous. Those two guys, and they play both in the same time. They rotate. They've got juice. They've got speed. The tight end, number 11's a kid that, is a senior now, had a big year last year. I think Long is looking to him a little bit more this year as a safety net underneath and kind of the stick route variety. They've retooled and reloaded at wide receiver. The Solomon kid, 86, is a big target out there. This is a very dynamic offense, as it always is. They're going to run the football in the light box. They're going to, spin it to the perimeter when you're trying to rob Peter to pay Paul. I mean, it's a well-coached football team. And then defensively, that defensive line is very active. And one of the additions that has my attention is a guy that Coach Papp and I know very well because he was at Duquesne when we were there and recruited, is Todd Hill. And, he's a Duquesne transfer. Then he went to Pitt. And now he's playing at Slippery Rock. He's a problem up front. We've got to account for him all the time. Linebackers are physical. Secondary's aggressive. Special teams, they've got guys that can break your back in the return game. They're aggressive. I mean, there's a reason this is the number 10 team in the country. We've got to be detailed. We're going to have to go in there Saturday night with a purpose and play really sound football.
All right, airtime will be 5 o'clock. The pregame show built by Hobbs Do It Center. We thank everybody here at Charlie's Pub and Eatery for coming out for the Jake Nulph Show. 5 o'clock airtime, 6 o'clock tip. Or 6 o'clock kick, I should say. Wrong sport. Right time this time. But that will be on the Fighting Scots Radio Network presented by ErieInjury.com. That's all for us here at Charlie's Pub and Eatery. Coach Nulph.
Go Burrow.
We'll do it again next week.
At the 15, he's on his feet. 10, 5, touchdown.
The Jake Nulph Show.
Go Burrow.